Dominate
the ring, generals in control. Every move precise, taking over soul from the first strike.
Yeah, welcome back to a brand new live episode of the Ring Generals. Here I am, the Outlaw John Roca, joined as always by these two awesome gentlemen. Aaron Turner holding it down there in Florida. How are you doing, big man?
Dude, we're getting a Greatest Showman musical tour. All is well in the world, sir. All is well.
What?
All is well.
And of course, taking a break from hanging out with all the cool people in LA, he is a producer extraordinaire and lover of all things wrestling. Chris Burns, how are you, man?
I'm good, man. Just still pretending to one of the girls I'm dating that I've never seen Deadpool Wolverine.
What? So you can go again? Is that why you're doing that?
Well, you know, certain people want to go with you to certain things, but you think I'm going to wait to see that movie? Like, come on now.
At least you didn't have to go see Trap last night.
Oh, no. I've not heard good things.
The only trap is that they got you in the movie theater. That's the trap. Jeez. Wow. And they took your money.
There's a 20-second review. But we're here to talk about all things pro wrestling, ladies and gentlemen. And thank you all to everybody's joining us live right now. Sorry, we're a few minutes late. We should say this. We're a few minutes late because we got the privilege and the pleasure to interview former WWE announcer and host Kayla Braxton, now known as Kayla Becker, her original name. That interview will be out in the next couple of days. We had an awesome time talking with her for about 30 minutes about her life in the WWE, her life before the WWE, and her life after the WWE, which I think you guys are going to be excited to see what she's up to as well. So look for that interview coming in the next couple of days here from us on the Ring Generals. But we're here to talk about current professional wrestling. So Aaron Turner, take it away. And ladies and gentlemen, don't forget the Streamlabs and Super Chats are open. Send in your Streamlabs and Super Chats. You see the address above Aaron's head over there. And also send in your Super Chats as well. We'll answer them as we go along. So Aaron, please take it away, my man.
Got to start with serious business here. We lost a legend yesterday, the great Kevin Sullivan. I got to run down a little bit of his career here, and then we'll talk about him.
Yeah, please.
He started in the early 70s in places like the NWA, the WWF, and Georgia Championship Wrestling. He defeated Steve Kern, you may know him better as Skinner in the 90s of WWE, to win the NWA National Television title in 1980. Sullivan really caught fire in championship wrestling from Florida with his Prince of Darkness persona, a satanic-esque cult leader that would capture souls such as a young Luna Vachon. Sullivan was accompanied by the fallen angel who would eventually be known as Woman, his real-life spouse, Nancy. In the 90s, Sullivan created the Dungeon of Doom in WCW and feuded with the likes of Hulk Hogan, where we got characters like the Shark and the Zodiac. Anyway, moving on. Sullivan then became a booker for WCW until its end, getting in feuds that blurred company lines with the likes of Brian Pillman and most famously Chris Benoit. Sullivan has been a longtime contributor to the wrestling business, whether behind the scenes or in the ring. He was 74 years old.
Yeah. Chris, what are your thoughts on this? I mean, we've got a shot of you hanging out with Kevin here, having fun with him, still wearing his devil cross there on his head. What are your thoughts when this came across the wire just a couple of days ago?
Man, it broke my heart, man. It's just like there's certain unique figures in the world of pro wrestling that you don't think you'll ever, not have them around. You know what I mean? Yeah. And also, I mean, it helped also that Kevin looked like he was 45 from the moment he was 20 years old. So, you know what I mean? He's just like this ubiquitous presence in pro wrestling for sure. And just so unique, man. Just so utterly unique. One of the pioneers of blurring the lines between reality and the show. It's like, is this dude really worship the devil? Like what? You know what I mean? Like I don't know how much of a taste our fans have for like really hardcore wrestling, but go look at some of Kevin's stuff in Japan and in Wing and those kind of offshoot promotions. There's some bloody business going on there. Yeah. And he wasn't afraid to do any of it, man. And yeah, Stormy, scary. Legitimately scary dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's hard to get that across, you know what I mean, without being like an over the top Undertaker type person, you know what I mean, or gimmick or things like that. But you know, very subtle, nuance, Jake Roberts style, scary.
Yeah.
Just so talented to pull that off, man. And today wearing the Brian Pillman, I respect you, Booker, man. You know, situation for Kevin Sullivan, man. Definitely will be missed.
Yeah, one of these guys that was always fascinating to me because, you know, there are the big stars in pro wrestling like Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair and The Rock, Stone Cold, now Roman and Cena, of course. But there's also these workman wrestlers who are really essential in creating factions and creating villains and creating everlasting characters, and certainly Kevin Sullivan was one of these guys. He is a blue collar guy in terms of how he approached pro wrestling. Almost always wearing those yellow tights of his that he wore. He led factions like the Army of Darkness, as we said, the Varsity Club, the Dungeon of Doom. You know, he even introduced the Big Show into the world of wrestling. So brought Paul White into the world of wrestling, and of course the Taskmaster stuff for sure. And as Chris mentioned, the Devil stuff, that was such a huge part of him when he was first starting up. But I remember him standing out in WCW in that way, and him leading these factions, these frustrated factions, because they couldn't always win the top belts necessarily, but they were always a thorn in the side of the top baby faces. And so I think he did an essential job of doing that in numerous promotions. But it's the after stuff that I've saw recently that it really turned me around on him, because, you know, you'd heard stories about Kevin and whatever and how he books certain things. But like hearing him talk recently about his experiences. And I look back on that 2-part Benoit Dark Side of the Ring episode where he talked about his experience with a woman and what happened there, which clearly hurt him, clearly damaged him emotionally with what went down. But hearing him talk about his world and his life recently over these documentaries, I think has been a fun thing to see. So his passing at 74, and this was after apparently a medical emergency at an autograph signing that just extended and eventually took his life. It's just sad now to lose this voice in wrestling. As we get older, we're losing these guys who connected us to those times that really kind of solidified for a lot of us our love of pro wrestling. And it's just sad that we won't get more stories from Kevin Sullivan's mouth about his time working with all these people. And Kevin Nash even gave him a big shout out on his Twitter rather, and I thought that was great as well. You know, anything more you want to say? Yeah, Aaron.
Well, despite the satanic stuff and all that, I don't know if people remember or don't forget, this guy's a shooter from Boston. Like,
yeah, right.
He's short, stocky, but solid as a brick. Like, he would throw people around. Like, Kevin Sullivan was no joke. It was a little before my time, the championship wrestling from Florida stuff. I remember seeing him as the Taskmaster. Like, I had the wrestling figure, and I remember Brian Pillman say, "I respect you, Booker Man," and me being like 11 years old, be like, I don't know what that means. And then finding out later that it was like, oh, okay. Oh, we're playing inside baseball here. So just Kevin Sullivan been a part of the business since the 70s, dude. The 70s, 50 plus years of service to the business. And it's always hard when you lose somebody like that, a true OG in the business that we know of as today. So it's always hard, and he will definitely be missed.
Yeah, he won a number of championships in NWA and worked his way through the 70s, as Aaron said. A lot of people expressing sadness. Ric Flair, Jake the Snake, Triple H, as I said, WWE issued a statement as well. And so he feuded with a lot of people like Dusty Rhodes and the Road Warriors. So the man is essentially a walking time capsule of the time when wrestling came up and became this big thing that it became, including fighting Hogan and the Hulkamaniacs there during War Games, feuded with the Four Horsemen. So just had a lot that he was involved in overall, and apparently wanted to be there were talks about bringing him back to WCW as a booker as well later on in his career. So just incredible stuff. So sad to lose Kevin as well. Yeah, go ahead.
Is he in the Hall of Fame?
He is not.
Oh, I feel like they're going to repair that. Don't you think?
Yeah. How about this? It was exactly like you said, like one of those people who's just like, maybe isn't the biggest of big stars,
right?
But utterly respected, utterly known, utterly, legit. Like, God, he's a great name to go in this year. Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Yeah.
be fantastic.
It is worth mentioning that Brian Pillman Jr., known as Lexus King in NXT, did throw up the "I respect you, Booker Man" tweet, which was really cool.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, RIP and our best to his daughter and his family there as they navigate this loss of Kevin Sullivan in their lives. But we move on. No easy transition. Aaron, where are we off to next, my man?
We're on to this guy. I don't know if you've heard of him. His name is Roman Reigns. He returned this past weekend at SummerSlam, the OTC, the original tribal chief. SummerSlam, of course, concluded this past Sunday with Cody Rhodes versus Solo Sikoa for the WWE Championship. Roman Reigns returned, delivered a Superman punch and a spear to his former stablemate, allowing Cody to pick up the win and telling him, though it wasn't mic'd, it's only a matter of time. That's my championship. So down the road, we're getting another one of those. But for now, looks like Roman's got problems with the bloodline. Then last night on SmackDown, he returned to confront Solo and the Tongas. Roman got beat down by the Tongas. And he tried to go for Solo again, but he got saved. But Solo was saved by his cousins. Then Roman fought him off as Solo grabbed the Ula Fala and taunted Roman, saying that he is the tribal chief. So what do you think about Roman Reigns' return? The OTC is back in the game.
Yeah, Chris?
What a life over the past few years for this guy, right? Like, really, it's a family reunion. Every night you go to work. You know what I mean? That's just like, how fun must that really be for those guys? You know what I'm saying? Just like, we don't even need to include anyone else on the roster in this situation. Like, we're killing it. You know what I mean? As a unit. I think that's just so fun. I think about that all the time. Because as I saw like Tama Tonga getting beat down, I'm like, a lot of people might be embarrassed by what's happening right now. Speaking like, dude, my older cousin, I think this is awesome. You know what I mean? I'm so happy I'm not in Japan anymore. But anyways, as an original Bloodline member,
oh God,
it's just really, it's just really amazing to see how.
Is it on the rock side? Where are you?
Yeah, of course. Come on. How this whole thing has evolved, from the beginning. And it's just, I mean, so many people have had this sentiment, but I just have to say it again. What a world where all WWE wanted was to create Roman Reigns as the number one babyface in the company.
Yeah.
Took us 14 years to get there, but boy, how they've accomplished that feat. And I mean, it's just as the world is as it should be right now.
Yeah,
Roman, get in the pops. Everyone, not ironic because he's a heel, you know what I mean? And in that the crowd is behind him. He's got all the momentum in the world. 1,000 different variations of storyline that you could go to without even bothering giving him the world title at this point. He doesn't need it. I mean, what else is there to say about the storyline about it other than it being incredible, utterly incredible?
Yeah, I mean, Triple H teasing that what they've got lined up for him next is even grander than what we saw already with the Bloodline, which is really arguably top 3 greatest storylines ever. Excites me on so many levels, because to be fair, not everything Triple H, I mean, the Kevin Owens, Cody Rhodes thing was weird, but not everything he books is working out greatly. But the Bloodline stuff has been almost untouchable in its approach. They won us all over eventually with 2.0 over the last few months, and it's worked. And we've got Solo and all of this going on with Roman. Roman coming back at this time, I was incredible. The amount of attention it got across the spectrum shows you how massive Roman Reigns has become now. He's almost transcended wrestling in that fact that pop culture people know him, who are just casual viewers of this stuff, is incredible. But where it's going to go, I think, is fascinating. And Aaron, you brought this up. The fact that they didn't mic him, but it's been put all over social media with the subtitles of what he said, essentially saying, I did this, I'm handling my business within my family, but don't get it twisted that I'm like on your side now and we're cool and we're bros. That belt is still mine. The tribe is still mine. Everything is still mine. So That to me excites me. Where is this going to go? Who is going to be put into his path? How is this all going to play itself out? Because when he came out and fought him on SmackDown, just like on at SummerSlam, he dwarfed them in so many ways. So the question is, how do you add on to the other side of things against him? It's got to be The Rock. That's got to eventually happen. And so that's exciting. And then if other people get involved in the family business, how is that going to play itself out down the road when the family eventually comes back together? Because you know they will. So there is so much potential now, even more so in the Roman Reigns storyline, because he took that break, because Cody has embraced it and ran with it over the last few months, that it excites you to see where we're going. And a lot of people suspect that Cody's going to go the Homelander route and become this heel, and now face Roman Reigns versus heel Cody Rhodes is gonna, I mean, that's gonna make him print money, for God's sake. So all of it just excites me on so many levels.
I think we talked about in our group chat, like right after Roman returned at SummerSlam, and it was like, it took, I think Roman's been in the WWE since 2014, so that's 11 or 10, 11 years-ish. Took that long for him to get the pop that they always wanted him to get.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that negatively. I mean that as in, was it worth the wait? Yeah, kind of. Like, I think that we're on a different plane here. Roman became heel, did the whole tribal chief thing. It's obviously, I don't need to tell you how good it's been. It's had its moments for sure. And I think that we have reset. We're on a different journey, which is what wrestling's all about. You take that and you flip it and you go a different journey with it. And we've still got major players here because Jacob Fatu, whether you believe that he's hurt or not, we still got The Rock to play in this.
Yeah.
The Rock will play a role in this somewhere down the road, whether that's on Roman's side, which I don't think it will be, or against him. That's also a big thing coming down the road. And we've also got Roman and Cody 3, and we've got the possible War Games match between the OG Bloodline and the new Bloodline. Guys, we've reloaded, and it somehow could get better because if, Sammy gets involved in these different things, like, and I think Haskell said they pulled $2.2 million on SmackDown for Roman's return.
That tells you everything you need to know.
And John, you were saying that his merch shirt sold out that night. They reloaded it, but it sold out the first night. And then I don't know if you guys saw that story about that championship belt. They made like a special Roman championship belt. It was $600, and they made, I think, 5,000, or I don't know. I could be wrong. 3,000 maybe, and they sold out.
Either way, they sold out. Yeah.
So people wanted to see Roman back. I never thought I'd see the day where people were like, I got to just go see Roman Reigns. That's where I'm going to the show. And as a person who went to the WrestleMania when he beat The Undertaker, and to hear that reception, and then the next night on Raw where he was booed and told F you for 10 minutes straight, to where we are now is insane. And I'm very happy that we are where we are.
Yeah. Agreed. And it's going to be curious to see where it goes, because I saw people online and I responded to one of them who was like, this is the biggest pop anyone's ever gotten pro wrestling. And it's like, this is the kind of revisionist history that you're seeing going on right now, because people have such a affection and love and respect for Roman Reigns and just, I don't know, fandom for him. And I think that's a great thing to see. And Chris, you brought this up, like, the fact that they just kind of played the long game here, and they knew they had a star in this guy. They just had to wait for this guy to maybe catch up to their belief in him. Because remember, he was a young guy in his 20s, early 20s, when he kind of came into the WWE. You go watch those old NXT stuff. He was like, oh my God, this guy. And now to see where he's come, it just shows how this happens in pro wrestling all the time. Someone comes in, they don't necessarily initially meet the potential, but eventually, if the stars align, they go into the stratosphere. And I think a large part of it is how he's changed, how he approaches wrestling and how he approaches the business and the inside and outside the ring. And I think that's been an essential thing for his success, myself personally.
I mean, we in the family always knew he had it in him. You know what I mean? We just never, we always believed, you know what I mean? It's interesting to me is
Yes.
The juxtaposition of Roman versus Daniel Bryan. I thought about this earlier where it's like people like act like the fans turning on Roman Reigns just kind of happened because they were tired of him getting pushed. But no. It was because they pushed him instead of Daniel Bryan.
Right.
So now I look at down the line, it's like, damn, were they right all along? Were we the ones that were like had it messed up? Were we the ones that just like kind of didn't see the forest for the trees? I still maintain that at the time they made the wrong decision, but but again, it wasn't for us thinking Roman was trash. That was never the thing. It was just like, it's not his time.
Yeah.
Give it time. Now we've got the time, and what a time to be alive.
Yeah, and I think it's the age-old thing where fans don't tell us what to believe. We will organically believe it when we're ready to believe it. Stop forcing it down our throats. And I think what they just did is just commit to it and keep pushing at it and keep adjusting it, keep honing it, keep shaving the edges off of it. And everything finally came up roses for them with Roman. And now they're seeing the dividends, and it's paying off well. Aaron, anything more to add on this before we move on to another topic?
I'm just losing track of how many stables that Chris is involved in, a part of, started with.
What do you mean?
Well, okay, so previously it was Bullet Club, and then
it was never in Bullet Club.
What? You were never in Bullet Club?
Never. What do you mean? I've only ever been in the Bloodline.
Check the videotape.
And then we moved on to the Judgment Day, which is in complete shambles.
Yeah.
And Carlito is somehow still involved in there. I haven't figured that out. I saw the picture of Finn Balor in the group talking to Damian Priest. And you know what I saw in the background? Chris. I saw Chris in the background. So I don't know how you are in that, and you're also in the. I don't know.
Listen, I get around, guys. Okay, I know a lot of people. I shake a lot of hands. I schmooze a little bit. That doesn't mean I'm in the stable. You know what I'm saying? Everybody relax. You know what I mean? This is a different thing. This is family. You understand what I'm saying? You know, when Rocky Johnson used to come by the cookouts back in the day.
What?
You know what I mean?
Wait. Tread lightly on that, sir. Tread lightly on that.
You know, that's all. Bounce me on the knee a couple times.
Hang
out with Dwayne, you know, family business.
I'll tell you what this is, guys.
This right here is bullshit.
You don't have to believe we know the truth.
Fascinating. Chris Bandwagon Burns. I love it.
If anybody can Photoshop a picture of Chris Burns bouncing on the knee of Rocky Johnson, woo, I will Venmo you some good money.
From not even The Rock was bounced on Rocky Johnson's knee from what
a lot of we don't know who. There's a lot of segments of Rocky Johnson out in the universe. Like, DNA testing, and well, we don't need to get into that. But you know what I'm saying?
Hey, I do want to bring up one thing that isn't on the rundown real quick. Executive decision. Gentlemen, I got to get your thoughts on the Dominik, Rhea, Liv. Speaking of stables and the Judgment Day 2.0, do we like this? I mean, we've seen with the Bloodline, there's a Bloodline 2.0, and clearly on Raw, it's Carlito, it's Liv, it's Dominik, it's Finn, it's JD McDonough, and it's Rhea and Damian on the outs here. So, as a former member, I imagine I would say, or maybe still member, I don't know, Chris, what membership status you have in Judgment Day. What are your thoughts on what went down on Raw? Where are we going with this?
I mean, I was like Carlito. I was allowed in the clubhouse. I was never a member of Judgment Day. Everybody relax. We're doing too much, guys.
Oh my God.
But I mean,
there's Damian real quick.
It is. I'll tell you what. It finally did a thing that it was designed to do. I mean, already Rhea and Damian's like profile had been risen from this thing.
Yeah,
I think Finn is going to be Finn. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
No matter what happens, he's one of those guys that you can like heat up and cool down whenever you need him, you know, to do a thing. He always works in a situation. But like Rhea, we knew was going to be a big deal. Damian, We kind of weren't sure, but it was like, okay, this Judgment Day thing is elevating him.
Yeah.
That image of the two of them with their hands raised looked big time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It looked like, okay, like now they've reached that rarefied air, you know, as opposed to, I mean, Damian was just the world champion and people had questions on whether or not he was legitimate or not, you know, with the belt's lineage. Now the fans are completely behind him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like 100%. And it takes, and Dominik, you know, we shared the meme with one another, like, how do you turn more heel? How are you as a bad guy? Like, I'm gonna do a double heel turn and not be a babyface. I'm gonna be more hated, even though I think I did say on this show or the previous iteration of this show a long time ago that if Dominik cheated on Rhea, that'd be the best way to turn Rhea babyface and him to be much more of a massive heel. And oh my God, when he finally takes his dad's mask one day, it's gonna be cinema.
That's the thing, Aaron, isn't it? I mean, Dominik can go even more heel. I mean, you've heard the term mega heel, but there is ultra mega heel level that's rarefied air. That's like Roddy Piper air. That's rarefied air. And yet this Punk kid, who Michael Cole hates so much, is got the actual ability to get, or the avenue, the possibility of getting to that level. What are your thoughts on this new Judgment Day 2.0 and Dominik's rise into mega heeldom?
You know, I don't want to do this, but I feel like it's long overdue. Told you so. Told you so.
That's fair. That is fair.
And not only did I tell you so, he's done better than expected because Dominik, I'll tell you what makes you a heel. You go to Nobu, and instead of ordering, I don't know, the sushi, the lobster tail, whatever, you get chicken tenders. That's a heel move, dude. It's a heel move. And this guy just, whatever you think about the ring work, I think the ring work's fine. Whatever you think about that, he's making it work, man. And not only is he making it work, he makes it work in the ring, outside of the ring. That meme that he put up with Rey Mysterio as in Call of Duty with someone holding, like standing over him, an unalived Rey Mysterio, if you will, YouTube friendly.
Yes. Yeah.
With Dominik as the little kid playing the PSP. I don't know if he did that or somebody's like, hey, you should make that. Comedy gold. Watch it. Just everything that's going on right now is good. And Chris, you made an excellent point. Damian Priest over more without the belt. I don't know how that happens, but okay, sure. I think Era Twins, you can really do something with them. They could be their own mini group within a group. Of course, actually, we're gonna get Dominik and Liv against Rhea and Damian in a mixed tag. That's gonna happen. And Finn Balor, I'll touch on this real quick. It's for a long time, obviously. We all like Finn Balor, I think. Like, we want to do stuff, do main event stuff. And we know that he used to be the leader of a group. Chris, I think, used to go to their meetings, but
he was invited.
I want to see what Finn Balor can do as the head of a stable again.
Yeah.
And will the company put more back into Finn Balor than we're used to seeing? Because if you ask my opinion, he should have beat Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight title. Absolutely should have happened, but it did not. So let's see what we have in Finn Balor here. And I like that there are, even though JD McDonough took an unbelievable bump from that choke slam.
Oh my God.
I want to see them lean in more to JD McDonough as he was in NXT, because they built him up as this like Irish, like psycho killer kind of looking guy. So I want to see that and see what we can do with the Judgment Day. But it's exciting. Again, they have taken apart things, retooled them, put them back in, and reloaded it back at us. And now we've got storylines for, the next, half a year.
Yeah. I mean, I've liked it, the Judgment Day, where they've grown to, because initially I wasn't the biggest fan of that stable, but they've built and grow and figured things out. I mean, do you even remember that Edge was the leader of this stable and put it together? Like, it's so long ago.
Who's that?
Exactly. He's the guy. He's the guy fighting with what's his face on AEW there and totally undercutting him in its promo back and forth, which is why he's coming to WWE. But anyway, we just totally forgot that he was a part of it, and so to see it, this has been Finn Balor's long. You could actually track Finn Balor's long ascension to finally being the alpha dog for now of Judgment Day until Dominik will eventually. I mean, Dominik has the chance to go like The Rock did in The Nation. Dominik has a chance to turn Finn Balor into Farouk. There is a legitimate avenue where it's Dominik taking over the Judgment Day from Finn Balor and going forward with him and Liv as king and queen of the Judgment Day. That is in play now because of everything they've done to put it together. So it's exciting. It's fun to see. And yeah, Damien, I think Damien's three things happened. One, him botching that win at the last Premium Live event, and then him the fans coming around, Triple H defending him, all the fans kind of now feeling sympathy for him, and then him losing to Gunther because the fans wanted Gunther to have that belt. Like all of that has worked in such a positive way in Damian Priest's favor that now people are excited to see even more of where he's going to go. So he is over like crazy, and it's fun to see that for sure. All right. Anything more on this, or shall we take a break, jump into buy or sell, my man?
All right, let's jump into it with the new video.
Right. Let's take a quick break, and we're gonna debut a new video for that segment for buy or sell right after this. All right, we're back. Let's do it.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
That is Aaron Turner built and created for the new segment buy or sell. So Aaron, take it away, brother.
All right, guys. We got to talk a little AEW. I think that's more than fair. The Mariah May and Toni Storm feud has been red hot since May's turn a few weeks back at the end of the Owen Hart Memorial Cup. And they will do battle at All In here at the end of the month. So I have a question for you, John Roca. Buy or sell Mariah May knocking off Toni Storm and winning the AEW Women's World Championship?
I have to buy it right now because I think she's got to. The fans are turning on Toni around like they did with Roman. Like they're becoming fans of Toni even more so in a face capacity. So having Mariah do the things that she's done has given a whole new level to what Toni can do with this character. Because to be honest with you, I felt Toni over the last few weeks had been kind of stuck in the mud until the Mariah May turn. The Mariah May turn now gives her even more creativity and more places to go with this character as it walks into face. So now there are like some face icons from the old movies that she can conjure up, or some face moments from old movie scenes that she can use in this path. So for me, it makes sense for Mariah May, who's an up and coming wrestler that they want to shine the light on, to take the belt here from Toni and see what she can do with it for now. And then give Toni more of the chase, which is what makes people love you as a face in trying to get the belt back. So for this one, at the timing of All In, I think this is when you do it, and I think Mariah May wins. So wow. I buy it. Yeah.
Chris Burns, you kind of poked and prodded me to put this in the rundown, and I appreciate it. Mariah May beats Toni Storm at Wembley. Buy or sell that?
Sell it all day. Wow. Sell it all day. Because again, we've done what we're supposed to do here. We've elevated Mariah from newly into the company. This is probably one of the best jobs they've done with bringing in someone from another company and making them matter. You know what I mean? Yeah. We've seen what she can do. It was no kidding when I don't think when Toni Storm said at certain points, you were a better me than me. You know what I'm saying? When she was doing Toni's old gimmick as her underling, she was great. You know what I mean? It's kind of like a Damien Sandow situation, sort of, but this is one that they can actually capitalize on. But I do not think it's time to take the belt away from Toni, especially since at some point, I feel like it needs to be established once again that she's the big time women's champion, not Mercedes. You know what I'm saying? Like They're treating the Britt Baker Mercedes feud as though that's like the main event. That is the TBS title.
Yeah.
Toni Storm is the women's world champion. Like, put some respect on that name.
Yeah, BS is how I would describe that title. All right, and I actually am going to. I'm going to agree with Chris on this. I'm going to sell that.
Oh wow!
Because Toni Storm, at this point, does need that establishment. I feel like Toni Storm needs that boost, and Mariah May has done enough. Like I think she did. The Owen Hart turn was amazing. That was great. I don't think a lot of people saw that coming. Maybe some. I don't think they expected the brutality that came with it. And I think that Mariah May, like Chris again said, like she has been one of their best, one of the best people they brought in. I don't really want to compare it to another recent person they brought in just yet. Jury's still out. But as of right now, I think she's the one. But I don't think it would make sense for her to beat Toni at this time unless there's some shenanigans afoot and she gets put with somebody else to help her. So that remains to be seen. But for right now, Toni Storm should absolutely win.
And I mean, all right. In her hometown? Okay. All right.
They're both from England, are they not? Or is Mariah May Australian?
Tony's Australian.
Yeah, Tony's
right.
Something like that.
Sorry.
It's a good question. Does Jamie Hayter return, who is from England?
Good Lord, she better.
Throwing her into the mix here with this Mariah May Toni Storm thing could be interesting with Jamie Hayter maybe going on Mariah May's side. A Jamie Hayter heel run was happening until she got injured. So, but you guys might be right. But then again, I'll be dancing on you guys if I am right. So, all right, what's our next buy or sell, bro?
All right, our next one is, I don't know if you know this guy, but Odyssey Jones made his Raw debut, aiding the New Day against the Final Testament this week. Jones was drafted to Raw in 2023 from NXT, but never appeared. He was then again drafted to Raw this year, but again had not appeared until this week. The save that he made on the New Day has garnered over 8 million views across WWE social media. Chris Burns, buy or sell Odyssey Jones as a future player in the WWE?
You know, I am notorious. I've been consistent about how resistant I am to, let's put all the black people together. Let's put all the Latino people together. Let's put all the, just because people share some sort of heritage doesn't mean that they can only interact with one another. You know what I'm saying? But I am going to buy this because if any group needed a shakeup, needed some energy injected into their situation, and as unfortunate as it is, it doesn't look like we're going to get Big E back, or this is a swerve to where we get a Darren Drozdov situation and he's not a good fit with the New Day, and then that prompts the return of Big E, maybe. But look, the numbers speak for itself. It was exciting. It was a great showing. People have been anticipating this guy. He's been drafted to Raw twice, you know what I'm saying, without doing anything. So there's a lot of momentum going in his favor, and he can work. So, I think sky's the limit. So, yeah, I'm buying.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, someone in the chat called it. You guys are onto my sound drops. You get it.
Big meaty man slapping me.
Ew.
So John Roca, Odyssey Jones, I don't know if you know a lot about him in NXT. He was a rising star prospect and then just whisked away to Monday Night Raw. Buy or sell him as a future player?
I didn't know too much about him, but after you sent me the clip, I went and did some research on him, and I was like, oh my God. So this guy, there are a lot of similar type of wrestlers in wrestling. There are, right? I mean, Odyssey Jones, Mark Henry, Bronson Reed. You can make the connections. Who's the I forget the guy that's married to Mia Yim. Who's the guy?
Keith Lee.
Keith Lee, right? Yeah, the Bearcat. Like you've got those different. You've got those different type of dudes, black big guys, right? And so you're like, okay, do they always work out? Mark Henry, you would argue, is the most famous of them that accomplished possibly the most. I mean, that retirement scene is still in my top 5 greatest swerves ever with Cena. So you look for someone who's got this energy. Now, if they're putting him with the New Day, I think maybe they have a lot of faith that this guy's going to be able to hang with Xavier and Kofi and fill that Big E void and play with them and come up with ideas and be able to improv stuff that I think will help the New Day have a new life. I mean, I don't know how many iterations or how many rebirths of the New Day we've had, but like we're on the 20th maybe, and but it's indoors because people love these guys. So putting Odyssey with him, I buy it completely. I want to see what this guy can do. I want to see the ferocity of this guy as a wrestler. I'm excited to see what he's going to do. And look, I think we've missed a Mark Henry energy in the WWE. So having him come in to be both Mark Henry and Big E, I like that idea. And I will push back on Chris a little bit. Sometimes wrestling does get it right, putting everybody together. Hello, the Bloodline. But not you. But I hear your overall point, though. I hear your overall point, though, for sure. Especially when you look at the LWO and what that turned out to be. And anyway, all right. So yes, I buy it.
Funny story about myself and Odyssey Jones. Not a personal story, but
yeah,
when he was at NXT and in the breakout tournament, I said, "Ooh, this guy." I love scouting talent in NXT, like I'm some kind of weirdo football scout. But I look at that guy and I'm like, "Oh yeah, he's got something." And then he just disappeared. And I was like, "But I thought we were going to do something." And my friend Casey Dillon, I swear, for 2 years we've had this chat going on. I'm like, "Does Odyssey Jones just pop up tonight?" It just like. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And then when he finally did, this Monday on Raw, and I sent him the text, it's like, Odyssey Jones, all caps, exclamation points. He sent me, I think, 25 skull emojis. Like, it's just unbelievable that he finally showed up. I'm absolutely buying this because I like Odyssey Jones. It makes me sad for Big E, like Chris brought in, because I thought maybe at some point we would get Big E, but that is a bigger issue that I can't emotionally discuss right now. So the only issue that I have is, hey man, I'm happy for Odyssey Jones. I'm happy that the New Day gets a little boost. Brother, Karrion Kross in this effing group, dude.
Yeah.
I'm a Kross guy. I like Kross. I like the gimmick. I liked it in NXT, and then it came to the main roster and sucked. But like, what is this now? Like Akam and Razar, in NXT were very dominant. They were tag team champions, but like since they came back, it's like no. And then Kross is a no. Like this just further kills Karrion Kross as well. And I know you kind of have to kill one to boost another, but dude, I don't think he's coming back from this one. I think it's over for him.
Yeah, it is over for him. I sell Karrion Kross right now. I've been selling him for a while. I
was like, quote myself from months ago. He sucks.
That hurts. It hurts.
He sucks. He's all look, no, nothing. There's nothing else there. Sorry.
And if you go back and look at the screenshot that I took from Raw which he put up, John, it's not the whole wide shot, but like if you look at that wide shot, when he's got both of those guys up, which by the way, holy shit.
Yeah. The way he did that was insane.
The crowd shot like behind it, if you go back and look at that clip, everybody's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like what is going on? And that's how you make an impact right there. That's how you make an impact. So good for Odyssey Jones. I'm glad he's doing well.
Absolutely. All right. What's our next one, buddy?
Another surprising moment on Raw this week is that dude that beat Okada and came back to the WWE, Bronson Reed, came out and brutally assaulted Seth Rollins. Who, Bronson Reed has been up and down since he came back to the WWE from New Japan and all that stuff. He hit Seth Rollins, the former world champion, with 8 tsunami split. 8. 1 and you're dead. 8, and I don't know if you exist anymore. So I got John, I'm going to go to you with this one. Buy or sell Bronson Reed getting something out of this feud with Seth Rollins and ascending in some form.
This is weird. I buy Rollins taking time away because apparently it's a chronic injury. But I buy the idea of Bronson Reed getting more airtime and getting more stuff to do. But I sell creative being able to figure that out and how best to use him. That's my concern here. Yeah, I absolutely buy the possibility. I sell creative on being able to figure it out because this guy has been around for quite some time over the last few months. in the WWE, and he is just as ferocious as he was when we first saw him come in to the main roster. So what's going to make the difference here, especially when the guy you just tsunamied 8 times is leaving for months on end? So you're not even going to be able to continue this feud with Seth Rollins. So what does this do for him? I don't know, but I buy Bronson Reed. I just sell WWE being able to do the right thing by him and elevate him to a legitimately ferocious status, which I think is possible with this guy because he's great.
There you go. Chris, the guy beat Okada. He's been the NXT North American champion, hot or cold, 50-50 booking. Do you think that he's going to get anything from this Seth Rollins feud?
I'm going. It'd be one of this. It's one of those things that, like, if I was betting on this in Vegas, little something. You know what I'm saying? Just like a little something. So I'm going to minorly buy this, just minorly, because it. What gave me hope, honestly, was Braun Breaker losing to Sami Zayn.
Oh. Right.
Because it showed that the writers and the bookers understand that you can still have a monster without immediately having them squash a champion. You know what I'm saying? And them making the decision to pull the trigger on this right now, it may be out of convenience partially because of Seth's chronic injury, but it hopefully means they have a plan. You know what I'm saying? Like, optimistically, it's like, okay, we can pull the trigger now because we know what we're doing. You know, all the titles are fucking occupied. Okay. Everyone basically just got them. You know what I'm saying? Cody, I'm sure we'll talk about that. But, you know, Gunther's busy. He just got the belt. You know, LA Knight just got the belt.
Yeah.
You know,
and new theme music.
100%. You know what I mean? So it's like, things are busy. Things are busy. Braun Breaker just got the belt. So there's not anything really to do with him gold-wise, but hopefully there's a story in there that makes it interesting that we can get invested in because, he can't win a title right now. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to sell them doing anything decent with Bronson Reed. My bigger question is, why would they bring back Seth Rollins at all right now? Like, they brought him back to do the thing with McIntyre, and I was like, yeah, but it doesn't really fit. And there was, like, no juice for it. And then they did the thing with Punk and the special referee, and that was fine. And now he's gone again. I'm just like, but wouldn't it make a bigger impact if he just, like, I don't know, was all healed? Like, wouldn't that be better? I don't know. I don't know why he's there. And now what do you do with Bronson Reed while he's recovering? Do you just have him kill people? Because we just did this with Braun Breaker on the same show.
Yeah.
So what, does Sami Zayn die? Like, we're already killing Chad Gable and the Creed brothers. Like, there's only so many people you can run through on the main roster. So Dolph Ziggler's gone, so you can't just run through him. So I don't know where that fits in the grand scheme of things. He's big boy. He's big man. Does him and Odyssey Jones? Hey, sign me up for that. But I don't know where Bronson Reed fits in the grand scheme of things. Like, he can't. Like Chris said, like, everybody's occupied. Yeah. Like Punk and McIntyre and Priest in the Judgment Day and Gunther and Randy Orton now, which whatever. Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes, like, everybody's doing something. And now Bronson Reed kills Seth Rollins and he's got, like, nothing to do. So I don't, for now I'm selling it for sure. Yeah. I just don't know if they're going to be able to pull the nose up on that. And Bronson Reed, again, not a known quantity. Like, he gets I feel like he was in every triple threat match ever imaginable for like 6 months and he lost all of them.
Yeah.
So I'm not with it. I'm not with it for Bronson Reed.
Agreed.
But anyway,
I'd probably feed what's his name? Oh wait, but he's hurt now. Strowman, huh?
Oh yeah,
that is right. Braun Strowman is hurt.
Yeah, he'd be like perfect to feed to Bronson right now. Perfect.
A perfect feed to him, which they can't use obviously because he's not there, is also Ricochet, but he's not there.
Oh,
And Ricochet's been fed enough. Leave him alone. Let him eat sometimes. All right. Well, our last buy or sell topic that I have is the rumor mill. And again, we don't endorse the rumor mill here, but we will talk about it. The Lucha Brothers, Penta, El Zero Miedo, and Rey Fénix, forgive my accent there, are reportedly leaving AEW when their contracts are up. Currently, Rey Fénix's contract is set to expire at the end of September, while Penta's will be done very shortly. Smart money is that the Lucha Brothers are headed to WWE. Chris Burns, buy or sell WWE as the best landing spot for Penta and Fénix?
1,000% buy.
wow.
Like, dude, I can't even understand how mishandled they were in AEW. I don't even understand. Like, it's everything that you need. Like, all the little tropes that you need for a successful pro wrestling act, the Lucha Brothers have. You know what I'm saying? The masks are the gimmicks. The face paint are the gimmicks. They can work. They do the high flying stuff. You have the Penta break arm spot that is over every time he does it. What else do you need to make this work? You put them with Pac, Death Triangle.
Yeah.
That didn't even make sense. And then, I mean, look. Will they inevitably feud with Legado del Fantasma?
You better believe it.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But WWE has been looking for that next Rey Mysterio, that next, Eddie Guerrero. They have been predators on that Latin market forever and a day.
Yeah.
These are your guys. You know what I'm saying? 100%. Look, and Penta's no spring chicken. Like, he don't got much time left.
Yeah.
True.
So let them come in, let them do their thing, and just invest. But Rey's young. Rey Fénix is young, and he can take over the mantle and be the guy that you need him to be after Penta's done. So I buy it 100%.
John Roca, both of these guys, MLW Tag Team Champions. Impact, I believe they were tag team champions, and Penta was the world champion. Yeah. Obviously, Lucha Underground legends, trios champions in AEW, tag team champions in AEW. Do you think this is the right move for the Lucha Brothers to be in the WWE?
Your question is, buy or sell, WWE is the best landing spot for Penta and Fénix.
That's right.
I 1,000% sell it. Countering Chris. And I'll tell you why. Because I have seen my brethren go to the big company in the sky in Stamford, Connecticut, and get fucking buried and wasted and useless and misused, rather, in a lot of the storylines. Please don't pay attention to Damian Priest behind the curtain. There are not a lot of Latino people who are able to come over, especially luchas, other than Rey, who've been able to come over and make any kind of impact in the WWE. And the way Rey and Penta wrestle, that is not the wrestling necessarily that you're going to see in a mainstream WWE Raw or SmackDown match. They're going to have to shave the edges down of some of the roughness, some of the insane moves. They hate blood at the WWE. I mean, every once in a while it can pop up in a Gunther match, but they usually hate blood in the WWE now. So these guys live and breathe on incredible moves, but also ferocity. And I haven't necessarily seen the WWE lean towards showing and showcasing luchador wrestlers and their ferocity with the accompanying blood that happens every once in a while. So I think they might go here and get buried and wasted. So I don't think it's the best landing spot for them unless they go NXT. If they go NXT, then maybe that's the best landing spot for them. But these guys are main event. Not main event, but these are main roster wrestlers. So they deserve to be at their Raw and SmackDown. don't think it's the best landing spot for them, but I don't know where else there is to go. Impact, TNA, I don't know that there's anything else for them out there. So they probably will go. I just don't know if WWE will be able to use them correctly. So I sell it.
Oh man, that hurt. But I understand your reasoning. I think it's very, very sound logic. You definitely cooked on that one. I'm going to definitely bye. And I'll tell you why. And it's this thing right here. We're gonna make about a bajillion of these.
What?
A bajillion. We're gonna make a bajillion wrestling figures, lucha masks, t-shirts, little Twizzly armbands. We're gonna make 1 million of them, and they're going to make bank in the WWE merchandise system. They're going to be merch machines. And I know people say, well, Aaron, that's not indicative of if they're good or not. Something tells me they don't give a crap. I'll tell you right now. I'll tell you right now, they don't give a crap.
Maybe.
And these guys are, I mean, look at the talent, mad talent, you know. And Penta, especially, a guy that I've probably followed more than Ray, I would say. He just, I don't know how you get the gimmick of what I would describe as a lucha ghost ninja over, but he did, and it's good stuff. And what I want him to do is run it back with Chelsea Green one time. They're never going to do that, but man, run that back.
Oh God,
run that back. But just the cinematic style, like Triple H said, hey, we're in the movie business. We make, right? So look at that Lucha Underground stuff that they did with, Penta literally dying and coming back to life and all that kind of stuff that they did. These guys are in that world. They know what they're doing. See? Oh my God, here we go again.
There you go.
Chris Burns is in another group, but these guys are made for this type of entertainment.
Yeah.
And like you guys said, they're looking for that new Rey Mysterio. They thought they may have it in Santos, another Lucha Underground legend.
Oh, yeah. Right.
But it may be Dragon Lee, but I think he's hurt. And it's just not quite there. Right? It's just not working. They have good matches. It's just not working. I think, and I hate to do this because it makes me sound like an old person, but as the kids would say, these two guys have aura about them. And when they come out, people are going to pay attention. When they're on the screen, people will pay attention. People will buy the merch. They'll do all that stuff. So I absolutely buy them going to the WWE, this being the absolute best place for them. Okay. And I can't wait to see what they come up with.
I can't wait to see it either because I would love to see them get it right for a luchador other than Ray because, I mean, there's so many examples of them not getting it right. So that's my concern. Yeah.
And the thing about them specifically, though, there's just an edge to them that I don't think exists in a lot of the other luchadors that they've brought through. I just didn't see it in Sin Cara. I don't see it, and a lot of people, it's just like, I think that it's really going to be successful, and not just because I'm associated with them. And again, in fairness, I'm not part of the Lucha Brothers. They joined.
Thank God.
The Dark Foundation. Okay, go look that up. Go look. The Storecade on YouTube, main event, Dark Foundation, Lucha Brothers.
Write it down. Write it down.
Right down. I got breaking news, and I don't know who or what or why somebody sent me this, but
what the hell?
What proof?
The hell?
There's the proof.
I am so confused and bewildered that is a real thing. So
they won't.
Wait.
I don't. Not
even the same decade.
Why is he shirtless? Why is he shirtless? There's a lot of confusing questions.
He ran hot. He just constantly would be around the family functions, no shirt. Plus, if you're built like that, Aaron, would you wear a shirt ever?
I would never. I would never. This is actually a suit that I'm wearing right now. I'm actually super built under this.
All right. Well, I'm taking, I love to throw these every once in a while to you guys. I'm taking an executive decision here, throwing one last buy or sell before we wrap up the show here. And that concerns a certain young lady named Becky Lynch. There was a post here on her Instagram. I will bring it up and read it to you all. And it's been the subject of controversy here. Her post was, it's been a hell of a career. And this was after her biography episode, which I think wrapped up the second season of Legends there. It's been a hell of a career. Being the man for all of you was an honor. Being the mom for her is a privilege. Thanks for watching my bio on at AETV. So, gentlemen, a lot of people are speculating that this is Becky Lynch hanging up the boots. She's a New York Times best-selling author. She's tried to act in Billions and other things. Seth is chronically hurt now. Was gonna be in Cap 4. We just interviewed Kayla about moving past the WWE, which will be up in a couple of days. So, do you buy or sell rather, that Becky Lynch is retiring from professional wrestling? Aaron, I'll go to you first. Wow.
Massive sell.
Okay.
Because Becky Lynch is such a showman at this point. She's not going down with a loss to Liv Morgan on an overseas pay-per-view. Are you nuts? That's not how it's going down for Becky Lynch. Okay. I have an idea. I don't know if it'll work, but I think if a story we talked about last week with a certain former baddest woman on the planet, if they can somehow, some way, finally make Ronda Rousey and Becky Lynch work.
Oh my God.
Do it. Or last week I also purported mistakenly that Charlotte Flair would return to aid Bayley in her pursuit of Nia Jax and Tiffany Stratton. What if I was wrong and it was the wrong horsewoman? Because Bayley does need help. She's got 2-on-1. Who has some beef with Tiffany Stratton from their NXT feud? Who's got some beef with Nia Jax about that bloody nose back in the day? Becky Mother Bleepin' Lynch. That's where Becky Lynch fits in. She ain't going out. Okay. No, she ain't going nowhere, pal.
All right. Chris, buy or sell Becky Lynch retiring from the professional wrestling?
Sell it all day.
Wow.
Becky, here's my thing. Becky's taking much well-deserved time.
True.
You know what I mean? She's put in, she's another one that we would have never thought necessarily was going to reach the heights that she reached. You know what I mean? Like, if you watched, Leprechaun Becky in NXT, it was like, this thing, I don't know if this is going anywhere, gents. And then even in her early days on the main roster, she was the forgotten horsewoman. Yeah. Bayley had the hugger gimmick. Charlotte was Charlotte. Sasha was the boss. Like, they had taken to the main roster very early. Becky was just the other one. You know what I mean? She was the redhead. And the man thing, to where she was, she was arguably the top star in the company during that run, right?
Absolutely.
Like, it was like, so to do all that, and then to have to give up the title early from the pregnancy. And do you remember the tears when that happened?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
She didn't want to leave.
No,
you know what I mean? She
Oscar,
didn't want to go.
Yeah.
But she had to, life found a way. Life got in the way. And, she had to handle her business. And so now that her contract is up, she's going to take a breather. She's going to care for the child. She's going to enjoy the family. But come on. The man will come around again.
There you go.
All right. I brought this up, but I agree with you guys. I got to sell it. I think she posted that as a way of like messing with the fans a little bit. And we just had Kayla on, she had posted that "we're married" thing that got people all kind of crazy for a little bit on her social media way back when. So messing with the fans is fun things that certain people do. And certainly Becky has loved doing that every once in a while. And so I do sell it, but I think what we get from Becky now is like Legends contract stuff. She will parachute in for like a match or two or a program for a few weeks and then roll on out. Has anyone seen The Rock since WrestleMania? No. And so I think that's what we're going to get from Becky now, because I think there's a lot of injuries with Becky. I think she also has a lot of other things that she wants to explore without overtly saying it. And there are avenues where, as a mom, priorities change for you. And Becky is very clearly a loving, doting mom, as you saw at the end of the biography special there, where she was playing with her daughter in the middle of them trying to wrap up the show. You see that very clearly. She loves her child. I think she wants to be home. I think she wants to do stuff where she is more home with her child. And I think this is where we're going to see her transition into much more of a sporadic appearing pro wrestler than someone who's coming back for an extended amount of time. So she may not be retiring, but she's certainly taking her foot off the gas in the professional wrestling side of things, I believe. I think Bayley's the lifer who will do it till she's in a walker. I think Becky is the one. And I want to clarify something what Chris said. If you go back and look at the videotape of Ryan Satin and I way back when, before Becky's turn, a year before Becky's turn, I said over and over again, they needed to let Becky stand on her own and be her own person, that she has star potential. I was one of the few people saying it. And when she finally turned heel, she ran with the ball. So I knew she had the potential, and I hated that she was constantly the forgotten horsewoman, because she was not fucking Ringo Starr. She was goddamn John Lennon, and people needed to pay attention. So that's my point there. All right. So we only have a couple of super chats. Let's get through them. And we'll blaze on out of here. Yes Boy says, so does the Shane Tony Khan photo leak mean we'll get the return of Shane and the Mean Street Posse in AEW?
Hey. Rodney, Pete Gas, and Joey Abs on network television in 2024. Let's go.
Hey,
Pete Gas? Come on, son. He's an award-winning author. Pete Gas.
I don't know if you guys remember the theme song, but it is a bop.
I do remember it. I remember it from WrestleMania 2000, I think, on the Nintendo 64.
Oh, wow.
So there you go.
Wow.
There you go.
Sure. I don't think Shane's going to AEW, though. Hollywood Rule says, just happy to see my boy Outlaw talking wrestling. Oh, yeah. Happy to be back, and happy to be back with these two gentlemen for sure. I mean, I love talking wrestling with these guys. And it's been a blast. And today was a lot of fun as well. Another great show, followed or preceded by our interview with Kayla Braxton, aka Kayla Becker now. So look for that next couple of days. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's wrap up the show there. Unless there's anything more you guys have, we should get on out of here. I know Chris has got to get to a basketball game. I got to watch my ladies take on Brazil in the gold game. Even though a lot of you were ruining the fucking result in the fucking comments section, I'm still going to go watch the goddamn the gold medal game of women's soccer. Chris, another fun show. Please let people know where they can find you and what you got going on, brother man.
Chris_please, all things social media, on the personal tip, see what I'm up to. Business-wise, guys, go check out the Late AF YouTube channel, Late AF Productions. I produce 3 podcasts there, soon to be 5. I host one of them. And if you like more wrestling, one of them is the Before the Bell podcast with friend of the show, Jay Washington, Martin Morrow, Clayton Thomas. So a lot of content to swallow while you're waiting for the ring generals.
Speaking of swallowing, those guys did a lot on Liv Morgan. They did a lot on Liv Morgan. Jay wanted to take Liv Morgan to the cookout or the Juneteenth cookout. Jay, you're an insane person.
Diabolical conversation right there.
I'm not black, and even I know I wouldn't bring Liv Morgan to a Juneteenth cookout. Aaron, what do you got, brother?
Well, since I'm a man of the people, I thought I should just let everybody know as a primer for our Kayla Becker interview that I did absolutely bring up our favorite people, maybe not you guys, but our favorite tag team of all time, me and the people, the Iconics. I brought it up.
Hey, Kayla!
We talk about it. You're welcome. I'm excited for it. I thank Kayla for her time. And I think I'm actually going to go join Hit Row. I'm going to go talk to Top.
Oh, my Lord.
So see you guys next week.
There you go. But look for that interview. As we said, we talked to Kayla about a lot of stuff that went on before she became an announcer and hosted WWE, her time at WWE, talks about some of her favorite people there from NXT, and then her post stuff, and gets into horror films, why she has such a love and fascination for horror films. And she ends the interview with a really positive message for a lot of you out there. So don't miss that interview when we drop it here in the next couple of days. As for you can follow me at The Rogue Says on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Please remember to subscribe down below if you're a fan of the channel. We will have some more trailer reactions today. A new Agatha trailer dropped last night. New Mufasa trailer dropped last night. And my Skeleton Crew trailer reaction is up now if you guys want to watch it. That looks like a lot of fun. Goonies in space. And we'll talk to you next time with another brand new episode here of the Ring Generals next week here on the Outlaw Nation. Take care. Until then.
Oh, I missed it. All right, cool.
Dominate the ring, generals in control.